Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the balance portion of reproductive physiology, that is birth control methods. What is the purpose of birth control methods? The main purpose, while sustaining the natural potential for reproduction, need to avoid or prevent pregnancy. That is the purpose of adopting any type of birth control methods. Birth control methods are of two types, natural methods and artificial methods. First, we can learn about natural methods. Among the natural methods, first one is withdrawal method, or otherwise called coitus interruptus. Coitus interruptus means interrupting while coitus, that intercourse time. What is doing in this method? During that intercourse, sexual intercourse time, the penis is withdrawn from the vagina of the woman before the ejaculation happen. That is the withdrawal method. It is a very old method, but the success level is very low. What is the reason for the low success level? Because there is chance for some leakage before ejaculation. Pre-ejaculatory leakage chance is there, and also in the great heat of passion to have sex, often the male failed to withdraw the penis in the correct time. So there is a withdrawal method. Then abstinence or rhythm method. What is abstinence? Means we are purposefully, voluntarily we are avoiding. That is abstinence. Rhythm method. What is that method? We are abstaining intercourse, that sexual relationship at the time of ovulation. By calculating the time of ovulation, purposefully the two counterparts are abstaining that intercourse. Next slide. How we can determine that ovulation time? By keeping a permanent record of the length of menstrual cycle, one can assess on what day will that ovulation occurs. Another method, by assessing the thickness of cervical secretion. Some secretions are oozing out from cervix. By analyzing the thickness of it, also we can to certain extent understand on what day ovulation is happening. And also by checking the body temperature after awakening in each morning. And during the time of ovulation, it's noted that a slight temperature rise and the early morning and that woman. Then safe period. Which is the safe period? Means a safe period to have intercourse to avoid pregnancy. For that, we need to have some basic knowledge that ovum stay alive for 12 to 24 hours. 12 to 24 hours only an ovum can stay alive. And also in the case of sperm, it can stay alive in the female's reproductory tract only for 3 days. So the safe period is the abstinence of intercourse, avoiding the intercourse 4 days before and also 4 days after the probable ovulation date. That is a safe period. And for taking some additional safety, better thing to have intercourse from between the first day to 7th day of the 28th cycle, and also from the 21st day till the 28th day of the reproductive cycle. But one more thing is there. Unfortunately, most of the women have a great sexual interest during the time of ovulation. That is also dangerous in the view that we need to avoid or to prevent pregnancy. Then breastfeeding is also a one method, natural method. Why is it called a preventive method for avoiding pregnancy? Because breastfeeding mothers, they in their body that ovulation is not happening. They are not resuming their ovulation because that presence of prolactin hormone. Prolactin hormone actually inhibits gonadotropin releasing hormone, and which in turn inhibits the secretion of LH and FSH. As LH and FSH is not there, then there is no possibility for the maturation of follicle and also the maturation of ovum. So that's why this we can tell breastfeeding also as a preventive or protective mean to avoid pregnancy. And its success only 50%. Then we are going to artificial methods. Barrier method. Barrier method means we are creating or implanting some barrier in order to protect the meeting of sperm with the ovum. Usual barriers are cervical cap, condom, diaphragm, vaginal sponge. But a condoms, the picture is given here. What is nature? It is thin rubber sheets are condoms are. Then how we are using that? We are fitting it on the erect penis, and during the ejaculation time, the sperm comes out from the penis is trapped inside the small reservoir at its tip. And what's the benefit? By using this condoms, that male can be protected from sexually transmitted diseases. And female condoms also payload, but it's highly cost is very high. And also in the case of female condom, it is a pouch made of polyurethane, and it is usually fixed inside the vagina. Then diaphragm and caps. Diaphragms and caps. This is the female condom. Okay. Then diaphragms and caps. Now, what are diaphragms and caps? They are a rubber cap. Is usually fit at the end of the cervix. End of the cervix, you need to fix this diaphragms or otherwise called the caps. Before fixing that diaphragm or caps in the cervix, some spermicidal jelly is applying on it. Spermicidal jelly means this jelly can kill the live sperms. And what is the extent of protection? It keep intact at least 6 hours of intercourse. After intercourse should be kept there till 6 hours. Cervical caps is a small version of the diaphragm itself. Then vaginal sponge. Vaginal sponge means a small piece of sponge impregnated, coated with some spermicidal foam. Foam means pada. And this is also inserted at the end of the cervix. This is the uterus. This is the vagina. This is the cervix. End of the cervix. Effectiveness, it remains effective for 24 hours. It is effective till 24 hours. Then some chemical means, certain tablets or some other means also there. They include tablets, jellies, paste and creams. And these things contain spermicides like lactic acid, citric acid, boric acid, potassium permanganate and zinc sulfate. Next is intrauterine devices, or otherwise called IUDs. What are IUDs? They are plastic or metal object inserted into the uterus by the physician. It is a somewhat plastic or a metal thing. It is introduced inside the uterus for preventing the pregnancy. What's its function? It prevents the implantation of the blastocyst, that is early embryonic stage. It prevents that implantation, or otherwise it prevents the sperms mating with the ovum. Types of IUD. Medicated IUD is there and non-medicated IUD is there. Medicated IUD, it releases either metal or hormones. Metal means usually it's a copper, or hormones, most commonly the progesterone is the hormone. And one basic thing we need to keep in mind that whenever a woman's body have high level of progesterone and estrogen, there is less chance of getting pregnancy, because that LH and FSH is responsible for the maturation of follicle. After the follicle get matured, only then a ovulation, chance for ovulation is possible. In that way, chance for pregnancy. So whenever progesterone or estrogen is high in the body of human, there is no chance for getting pregnant. Non-mediated IUD is known as first generation IUD. Then medicated IUD. What is it? Non-medicated itself. Okay. Medicated IUD means copper releasing IUD. They are called second generation. Then again one more medicated IUD, that is hormone releasing. It is called the third generation. And this second generation, third generation have less side effects, more effective and less, not less, highly expensive. Then copper tea. Copper tea is a widely used among the copper tea widely used copper teas are copper tea 200B and copper tea 380. It is commonly used in national family welfare programs. It is formed of plastic material. uh, hmm, Plastic materials, polyethylene and copper wire. It's a somewhat T, English alphabet T like appearance, and on its branches a copper wire is tiny rat. In that's its appearance. Duration, and once a copper T is implanted or introduced in the uterus, it need to be changed for every 3 to 5 years. What is the merit? It's small in size and so easy to introduce. And also because of its peculiar shape, it can withstand the innate body's innate mechanism of expulsion. Body has an innate mechanism to expel whatever foreign body that present. So, because of its some peculiar time of structure, it can withstand body's natural mechanism of expulsion. And insertion also give less pain for that woman. Again, go and watch a video of inserting the copper T. This is the copper T. This only this portion, and this is a tube aiding to inserting that copper T inside the uterus. And the flange means it is used to decide a sound depth inside the uterus where to implant that copper T. And there's a handle is there for for proper implantation of this copper T inside the uterus. This is the copper T, and this is the copper wire turn. This is a plastic substance, copper wire, and it's a two that branching ends are bent on its side and inserted inside that aiding tube first before inserting into the uterus. In that way, it is taking inside the uterus. Okay, in this way. This one, by fixing its position firmly, we can decide what would be the good distance, good depth need to fix that copper T inside the uterus. The copper T is inserted into it. As this tube is withdrawn backwards, its branch become released, and it will close these two pathways that opening to the fallopian tube. Through this pathway, actually, the sperm is going to fuse with the egg. So, in that way, the copper T can block the entry of sperm towards the fallopian tube to fuse with the egg. In this way. After inserting, a string will hang from its tip, and its one is some length is cut off, and later at the time of removal by holding that string end, the doctor can very easily remove the copper tray. Copper tray. Cutting is and its length. Then okay, it's holding for the time of renewal. You can just withdraw it out. Is the copper. Then hormonal methods are there. Hormonal methods, first one is birth control pills are there. Birth control pills. They are called oral contraceptive. Contraceptives means medicines to prevent pregnancy. And it is available only for women. Its composition, it contains a mixture of synthetic estrogen and progesterone. I have already told you that the significance of estrogen and progesterone in preventing the pregnancy. And the action, in what way estrogen and progesterone act? It inhibits the secretion of LH and FSH. In that way, inhibit follicle maturation and ovulation. Usage, how it is used, must taken throughout the menstrual cycle. Throughout the period of menstrual cycle, that woman need to take this tablet. Otherwise, there is chance for pregnancy. Some side effects also there. Nausea means talagarakam. Then breast tenderness is there. Weight gain. Breakthrough bleeding means there is chance for having bleeding in between the menstrual cycle. Then high BP, cardiovascular problems are the side effects. Low dose oral pills also there. They are Mala N and Mala D. They both contain levonorgestrel and ethinyl estradiol. Then mini pill also there. Mini pill means it contains only progesterone. Progesterone, this mini pill is less effective, and also its side effects are all very low. Next one is the morning after pill. Morning after pill means what's its usage? It should be used after an unprotected sexual intercourse. Whenever that lady happen to have an unprotected sexual intercourse, after that she need to have that in the early morning. Then it works up to 72 hours, means 3 days it will work. It is composed of, it contains synthetic progesterone like a hormone. What's the function? It prevents either sperm from fertilizing the ovum or prevent the embryo from successful implantation. By these two means, it prevents the pregnancy. Either preventing sperm from fertilizing the ovum, or if somehow the fertilization is happened, then it prevents the successful implantation of the embryo. Hormonal implant. What's the method? Inserting matchstick size capsules that contain potent form of progesterone under the skin of woman's arm. And under the skin, it continuously releases that hormone. In that way, the lady is protected from having pregnancy. Then contraceptive patch. These are the patch. A hormonal contraceptive, it is applied, hormonal contraceptive is this contraceptive patch. It is applied on the skin of a woman. And how it works? It also releases synthetic estrogen and progestin. It is similar to progesterone. It also prevents pregnancy. Then surgical methods are there. Surgical sterilizations. It is the permanent method of birth control. It's usually carried out in women after having sufficient number of children, and it's a permanent method. It is done in both males and females. First one is called tubectomy. Tubectomy means what? Cutting the fallopian tubes and tying its ends. And it's done in women. This is a fallopian tube, and fallopian tubes ends are cut, and the free ends are tied. That way prevent the coming in of mature ovum. By that way, we can that person successful fertilization can prevent it. And it is carried out in outpatient basis. Then hysteroscopic sterilization. What is hysteroscopic sterilization? It is what? Inserting certain spring-like coils in the opening of fallopian tubes. And later, by the insertion of these coils, some tissues will accumulate, gather around these coils and plug that opening and block the entry of ovum to here, and also the entry of sperm to here. And these implants are inserted here also. That implantation happened without any surgery. Then vasectomy. It is male sterilization. What is the procedure? Some insertions are made on the scrotum. After then expose the vast difference. Vast difference are these are the two vast difference. And through the vast difference, the mature sperm is coming out and passing through these all the ejaculation fluid to outside. So that vast difference ends are cut and tied. There is a procedure of vasectomy, and it prevents only the passage of sperm from the testis, and it will not impair that sex drive. So it will not affect that ejaculation. That accumulated sperm inside the body later get denaturated by the body's immune system. Then vas occlusion. Vas occlusion means it's also a male sterilization common in China. As a method, instead of cutting some silicone plug, using some silicone plug, the vast difference passage is blocked. In that way, prevent the passage of sperm, mature sperm, and that method is easy to reverse. Because by removing that plug, that male can again tend to be productive, can give birth to release mature sperm through ejaculation. The termination of pregnancy or abortion, that is the last. What is that abortion? It is the intentional or natural expulsion. Expulsion means taking out of the fetus intentionally. That's abortion. It is called medical termination of pregnancy, and there is several act also associated with that. It is called Medical Termination Pregnancy Act. It is enacted in 1971, and some amendments happened on 2002. And this law, medical termination of pregnancy, it is legally permitted up to 20 weeks of pregnancy gestation. It is almost 5 months, and should be done in government hospitals. And when it is permitted, whenever there is failure of contraception, because of failure of contraception, if a couple happen to have pregnancy, that time it's to a certain extent it will be permittable. Then if any hazard or some mental or physical health, problem happen to the health of the mother, that time also that abortion is permitting. And also in the case of pregnancy happen because of rape, or any case if any health issues are there for the case of fetus, in those cases what is permitting? That abortion is permitting. Methods. And in the first 12 weeks of pregnancy, what method is adopting? Like vacuum aspiration is used. What is vacuum aspiration? In vacuum aspiration, first cervix is dilated by special instrument. After that, the contents of uterus is drawing out through an aspirating tube. It is a painless procedure, and it doesn't need any type of anesthesia. And women used to bleed for a week after that procedure. Then next, that abortion is needed from weeks of 13 to 16. Then that time physical scrapping is peeling out of the lining of the uterus. That method is adopted. Then if that abortion is required after 16 weeks, the abortion is more difficult and risky that time. In that time, what the mother is adopting by injecting solutions of salt, urea or prostaglandins into the amniotic sac of that pregnant lady, for what? To promote the uterine contraction, to induce uterine contraction for having a premature labor. And along with that, oxytocin also, oxytocin hormone also supplemented for for helping that contractions. In that way, a premature labor, through a premature labor, that baby is expelling out of the uterus. It's very risky and is very difficult when it is exceeded 60 weeks. With this, we finish this chapter. better. Thank you.